Of course, going to New York, we're gonna have fun, regardless. But for me, getting there was the biggest hassle of my life and probably the worst experience of my life. I've taken Greyhound from LA to New York, 2.5 days, but it really took three. You know why it took three? Because I was stuck in cold Columbus, Ohio, 4-degree weather overnight because they didn't have a driver for our bus. It took out a day of our trip to New York. And luckily, I hopped on the next bus, but that was a whole day later. And that probably was the worst experience of my life. Like, it was cold, you know, the food was just, bad. They only had snacks. And you know what? I just had to deal. And that was probably the worst experience of my life.
So anyone who knows me knows I love food, like a lot. I mean, I know we all like food, but I like it a lot. So when I order food, I expect it to arrive on time, today, because tomorrow's not promised. So tell me why when my friends and I were in New York, I ordered each of us a burger and fries, each, as in 3 burgers and 3 sets of sides of fries. And so I ordered, because we didn't want to go out because it was too cold. It was like 10 degrees, y'all. Like, I'm a SoCal girl. I don't deal with degrees under under 60. So we're like, let's just stay indoors and order food. So we order the food on my Postmates account, and the guy calls. He's like, "Oh, I'm here." So then I go out, grab the food, and I look in, and I didn't even look in. I just assumed all the food was in there. My mistake. Apparently, and then so he prances off and then back into the snow, and then I open up the container and there's only 1 burger and 1 fry, like 1 side of fries, not like 1 actual fry. And I was just like, hold up. So then we were all shook, like, what do we do? So I call him up and I was like, where's our food? But then when I go to call, it's like, oh, this number is no longer in service. And I was just like, where'd my food go? So then I called the restaurant and they were like, oh, we don't, that's not like part of our, like, that's a separate thing, what Postmates does and what we do. I was like, okay. So I look at my bank account and it said it charged me for all 3, $70 for 1 burger and 1 fry. And I was just like, oh, hell no. So long story short, we had to wait like another hour to order another meal because that meal never came. And it was tragic. So screw you, Postmates.
Okay, quick video about our experience at this yacht party for New Year's in New York. I had the best time of my life, but the worst time of my life at the same time. Yeah, so this is what happened. First of all, the flyer, it said, okay, dress up, you gotta look nice. So I'm thinking it's like you look nice or you get kicked out. So we're wearing what Joey has on. What you have on, Joey? Some kind of like blazer. I had on this one-piece bodysuit with probably like a little one of Ruby's jackets, and then Ruby had on a dress, no stockings under, and a jean jacket. And we're thinking like, okay, like when we get there, it'll be time, because it started at 8:30, so we'll get there and it'll be time to go on. We don't have to worry about really being cold because we're about to get on the yacht. So next thing that happens, that's the first red flag, because I had my big old jacket and they're like, no, there's not gonna be a place to put your jacket. So I was like, dang, you're right, put on this little jacket, let's go. We're in the car, we're going. We get out the car. It was, I'm going to say like 14 degrees. Like 14 degrees, winds blowing. We're on a dock with water. Like we're in line. And everybody has on these big jackets all the way to their knees, like all the way to their toes. That's how long these jackets were. Nobody was looking cute. Like, I was mad. I was so mad. We were looking too bomb with these heels and everything, just freezing. Everybody looking at us like we crazy, but didn't want to help us out. We get in the line. It's probably like 8:20. We're about to go on at 8:30. We get closer to the line, and the lady who's doing the tickets, she's like, well, I feel really bad for you guys because your boat's not there yet. Like, we have to wait for the other boats to leave the dock before we could put ours in. So that's another red flag. I'm telling you, we were out there I'm gonna say we were out there for almost 2 hours in freezing with nothing. We had nothing. We were all cuddled up. Some lady behind us had to help us with a little scarf. Ruby was in the fetal position on the ground. Like, it was bad. It was bad to where I was like, you know what? Forget it. Forget positive thinking. Forget that. Like, I want to go. I want to go home. Me and Ruby, we want to go home. So we were like, we're going to pay an Uber and see if we can go somewhere so we could just be like warm in the car. So Joey was like, okay, I'll stay and I'll keep our spots. So we walked slowly, like I couldn't feel anything. We walked to a taxi and I didn't even know what to say. He's like, where do you want to go? We're like, can we go to Grand Central Station? Can we go here? We don't know where to go. Could we just stay in your car and be warm because we're freezing right now? So he was like, yeah, I just got to go to the bathroom. Like, you guys can ride with me. So we went with him. You guys, I was crying. I was like bawling. I was bawling, crying because I couldn't feel my fingers. I couldn't feel my feet. I couldn't feel anything. And like, we're in a warm car. And I'm still, like, I'm frozen, but I'm burning at the same time. Like, it was really bad. The guy was like, why is she crying back there? And Ruby was like, she's frozen. She has frostbite. Like, it was bad. It was really bad. So he eventually kicked us out. We had to go back in the line. And we ended up going to this parking structure where there was, like, an inside where there's an elevator. And it was kind of like a little waiting area, but not really. People were packed up in there. Everybody was in there. We went in there. People were like, close the door. It's cold. And next thing you know, security comes in like, you guys can't stay here. It's liability. People were mad. They're like, call the cops because we're staying here because it was cold. Like, we weren't the only ones cold. Everybody was cold. We were still waiting in line. Like, I don't think anybody even got to go on the boat. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. Like, to the point Joey was about to die and this girl found him, put him in this other waiting room where everybody was packed too. They found this secret room, didn't tell us. So we went in there and next thing you know, before we went in there, it was so bad. Like, people felt so bad for me that the hot dog stand people, they had me stand there with them and put my hand in where they were like cooking because I was so frozen. Like, that's how frozen I was. But yeah, we're in the waiting area and I think two of the boats got canceled and they're like, yeah, you guys are getting your full refund. And one girl's like, you guys should still stay. Your boat's here. Me and Ruby like, we're going home. Joey's almost like we're going home, but he kind of wants to stay. Long story short, we finally got into the yacht, the boat. We had to jump inside the boat. Like, there was no security. It was water. Water where our feet was. Like, if I slipped, I would have just fell in the water and died because I can't swim. But we jumped in the boat. We got into the boat. It was nothing as advertised. Everything looked like Legoland. Like, everything was smaller than the picture it was on the YouTube video that I saw. Ooh, you guys. But nobody was excited for the boat. Nobody was excited for the accessories, how it looked, nothing. Like, first thing we saw was a heater. Everybody was at this heater. Everybody, we felt so thankful. Like, I've never seen anybody so happy to find a heater. Like, that was the conversation that we had. Like, good conversations. Like, oh, this is so warm. This is great. But after that, all that mess, it was the best time of my life. Best time. I don't know if I would do it again, but part of me is like, maybe I would do it again because it was lit. The whole party was lit. We found like so many friends. It was open bar for like a long time. We had so many shots of just everything. I don't know what we had, but funnest, most bittersweet time of my life. Probably never again. Avalon boat, whatever you were, nah, we got our refund for that.